Welcome back. I remember you. So this is Doug, Oracle DBA, and at the tail end of our last episode, we just played a little bit with Yum, and we updated 400 plus packages, and I just went ahead and shut down the system, and it occurs to me we don't need those packages, so I'm going to go ahead and show you how I'm going to roll back that with the snapshot that we made. So I went ahead and did a shutdown -H now, and it did go ahead and shut it down. So let's close that window, and back on our VM we go to the snapshots, and we can see where we have user, Oracle, and VNC. So I'm going to select that, and you can right click and restore. Click this restore button. It says, geez, do you want to create a snapshot of the current machine in case you want to roll forward? Again, I don't want to do that. Having too many snapshots, I like to have either success or failure and continue on. So I'm just going to go ahead and say restore without creating a new snapshot of the current, and now it says current state. So we did go ahead and roll that snapshot back, and now we'll go ahead and start it up, and we're going to verify that we did roll it back by issuing that command to update, and but we're going to say no. We're going to let it think about it and say, hey, I want to do these 400 plus packages, and we'll just tell it no thank you. So we'll go ahead and let this load to a login prompt. Okay, so we booted up, but again, being the fan of the SSH session, I'm going to go ahead and log into that. And let's make it a little bit bigger. Okay, and let's go ahead and run the command skip broken update, and let's see what kind of response it wants to give us. Again, we'll verify first that we don't have a lock on the repository, and then it'll start to think. So, and here it is again, 2 packages, 34 dependencies, etc. So obviously, had we just rebooted and attempted this command, it would have told us nothing to do. So we're actually going to tell it no thank you. Obviously our options are yes, download, or no, so we're going to say no thank you. And we're all good. So that just demonstrates a little bit of the snapshot rollback and the validation of that snapshot rollback. So let's go ahead and continue on with configuring this environment for Oracle infrastructure and ASM. So the first thing I'm actually going to do is shut it down and add some storage for the ASM home. So let's go ahead and do that. Oop, that's the wrong paste. So shutdown H now. And we'll close our session there. Okay, so we're powered off successfully. We're going to go into settings, and we're going to go into storage, and we're going to create a new chunk of storage. Now in this particular chunk of storage, I am going to create new disk. I'm going to make it a fixed size because I'm completely against dynamic disks. I'm going to call this OEL76 Doug _GridHome, and I am actually going to configure this at 30 gigabytes. So create. Again, this is going to take about 6 minutes, so we'll project fast forward till we get to the end. Okay, Tempest Fusion. So it's just about done. Creating our GridHome storage allocation. So we'll OK on that. And we'll start it up. Okay, so we went ahead and we fully booted up, so let's go ahead and connect in with our putty session as user root. And there we go. And hopefully we have a new disk. As it's the fourth disk, it should come in as SDD. So before we do that, let's take a look at what we actually have. pvdisplay. So B and C are physical volumes. So let's take a look at A is going to be that boot volume. So that's not part of a volume group. vgdisplay gives us also information. So this is our root file system, and this is our swap file system. So no big deal. So this next one we can use VG name OEL01. So let's also take a look at lvdisplay. And these are the logical volumes inside 00 swap, and that one's root. So before we begin, let's go ahead and take a look at the partition information on SDB. Disk dash. It's actually L. Dev SDB. And it's type LVM. Okay, so let's fdisk -u dev SDD. Okay, so obviously here's our commands, or our partition table now. So let's create new, there we go, primary, partition 1, first sector. We're going to select 2048. And we're going to take the whole thing, and then I believe it's T to change partition type, T, and we want 8E. So that looks cool. Wonderful. Syncing disks. Now we're going to say pvcreate SDD1. Okay. So now we'll do vgcreate. Come on. There we go. vgcreate. And we'll make this 2. So what did I miss there? Oh, I forgot to give it the physical volume. vgcreate 2 dev SDD1. Okay. So the volume group was created successfully. Now we need to create a logical volume. So first we're going to take a look-see. And it says just around 30 gig. So oops, wrong thing. There we go. And I'm going to leave a little bit of buffer on there, say 25 gig. And didn't mean to do that, dash name. And this is GridHome 1. Okay, lvdisplay, GridHome 1. That's lvdisplay. So let's give it the full path. lvdisplay. There we go. So we can see it's 25 gig. So now we're going to go ahead and format it, put a file system on there. So we're going to mk2fs, and we're going to choose the default, or I think, let me see if it, does it say what the file systems are? No, let's see, what did I say? No, it doesn't tell us the type of file system on here, so we're going to use the default, which is probably something like FSX or something. So we'll go ahead and do that. mk2fs. Ooh. Well, let's take a look. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and create some directory tree structures. Make directory-p. Oop. Wrong thing in the buffer again. uo1 grid. Make directory-p. uo1 app. Oracle. Okay, so now we're going to mount this guy up at uo1 grid. And we're restarting. Okay, restart successful. Root. And it did not come up. Why not? Why not? Well, it looks like it is not of type XFS, so let's go ahead and see if the man page tells us what the default is. So, man, mkefs 2fs. Okay, so right here the defaults are controlled by the contents of make2fs.config. So let's get that file out. Defaults. See if it tells us. So let's go ahead and just vi that. tab. Let's see if that df-ah, so it's an ext4 file system. So let's give it one more reboot and verify it does mount automatically, like we like. Okay, so we're done with the reboot. And let's cross our fingers. And yes, this time we have a U01 grid. Hot diggity. So, let's go ahead and look for our pre-release package for Oracle 18. Yum list graph release. See if that gives us anything. That wasn't it, so let's look again. Let's just say 18C. Maybe that'll give us something. There it is. That's the one we want. Oracle database preinstall. Yum. Gotta tell it to install. Install. It looks like it's gonna pull some extra packages. Yeah, okay. Not a lot of downloading to do. And we're updating. So, pretty good success on episode 4. Now, the next thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and shut this down, and I'm going to take another snapshot, and I'm going to document that excuse me, we've configured the storage and formatted it and mounted it and completed the pre-release for Oracle 18 database pre-install. So real quick, suppose we can do this again. Oh, there's H now, and it usually goes pretty fast, so we'll minimize that, and away it is, and snapshots, and state is now changed, so we'll take a new one. Pre-install completed. U01 grid allocated, configured, and mounted. And with that, we'll go ahead and end this episode. Tune in for more. For the next one, we'll actually start the Oracle Grid infrastructure installation. So stay tuned. Return, same Oracle time, same Oracle channel. Thanks for tuning in.